We,
All right.
hello.
Welcome, everybody. It's Jill and Lauren. Um, Dawn is away on vacation, so it's just the two of us today. We
Okay,
want
we're
to
gonna
welcome
dive.
everyone. What'd you say, Lauren?
Sorry, I said we're gonna dive right into all the updates with Disney's strollers on Disney
Yes.
strollers.
And this is a first unique one because this is our first little mini-sode. So, we were talking, and as travel agents, we get questions all the time on strollers. And Lauren and I are both mamas, and we have taken children. I mean, my oldest is 8. Your oldest is what, Lauren?
Just turned 5 or turning 5 in 2 weeks when we'll be in Disney.
Yeah. So we have taken strollers, single strollers, double strollers, and we wanted to just share all of our little tidbits of information regarding strollers. So go ahead and
Yeah.
kick us off here, Lauren.
So I've done it a couple ways. Usually we drive down unless we're doing a quick weekend. So the last couple times we drove down, we had the ability to bring different strollers. We have like our garage is like a stroller store. So we have like the big wagon, which are not allowed. Wagons are not allowed in Disney anymore. It was just becoming a problem, like obstruction wise. People couldn't see over them. They were bumping into people. They're just so hard to push in crowds. It was just becoming an issue. So Disney banned strollers. They do make a medical exception. So in when you're watching this, you can look right underneath and we'll give you the email address if you have any kind of medical disability that requires you to use a wagon, or if it's easier for you. Just recently had a client that's child had a disability and it was easier for them to travel in a wagon in case she needed to lay down because she couldn't sit up and stuff like that. So for in that case, they will make an exception. You do need a doctor's note. We'll provide the email for you guys. Otherwise, the measurements is 31 inches wide and 52 inches long at the longest point. Most strollers fit into this, like
Mhm.
a Bob's jogging stroller is one of them, like city stroller, city mini. My Uppa baby, we use the one on top of the other, and then we do a kickboard in the back for the oldest. Um, that seems to work pretty well. The we one time we tried a side by side and then one single, and that was kind of just annoying because then every time we got on a bus we had or a boat we had to fold all of them. So I was like dragging 3 kids and my husband was grabbing 2 different strollers. So that was kind of annoying. I
That's a
would
lot.
say, yeah, I would say like if you're torn on what to do, maybe just do the two with the kickstand and then like rent one when you get there from a company, which Jill will go over all the companies that we use as travel agents that will deliver right to Disney. Because I'm going to say this and I'm sorry, Disney, but never rent a stroller at Disney unless you're in a jam. They are disgusting. I mean, they're clean, but
They're
they're just
clean.
so hot. They're
Mhm.
clean. They clean them all the time, but they're plastic. So they're
They're
hot.
plastic. Yes.
Like, could you imagine your parents putting you in a stroller where you just like your skin gets stuck to the back of it and just like slides down? It's just like it's like a torture device.
They're not comfy, but they are easy to clean. So when they spill ice cream or spill something and they turn on a dime,
Yeah,
they are easy to maneuver. And I think the reason they have them is they're durable, but they're
they're
like
light.
made out of like a play school slide, like that really compact plastic.
Yeah,
And
like the
they
step ones.
yeah.
But like, I mean, I guess the perk of it is like it's easy to get, like if you have a kid that gets really tired in the park and you didn't bring a
Hmm.
stroller, it's
Hmm.
easy to grab one if there's some available because they're subject to availability.
Correct.
But um I guess there's conveniences to it, but I would rather just rent one and have it with me through the monorail, through the bus, through the boat, whatever I'm doing, and have it all the way back to the hotel, which a
Hmm.
lot of these third party rental companies will deliver it right to the hotel for you. So I think that's the best way to go if you're not going to bring it down with you.
Hmm.
Um, by far that's the best way to go. I found that the side by side is like better in the parks than my Uppa baby was. I liked having the storage underneath, but I felt like I was just hitting people in the ankles the whole time.
Hmm.
So we actually got this small side by side, which is just easy because half the times the kids don't even want to use it. And you also have to remember, you're not really using your strollers that much in Disney because there's so many spots in each area of the park to park it when you go on the rides. Like you can't bring your strollers in the lines.
Correct.
So you're going to leave it somewhere and bring it away. There's attendants there that watch all your stuff, so you don't have to worry about that, but you're not going to really be in the stroller the entire time.
Right.
And one more thing I wanted to mention was restaurants don't allow you to bring the strollers into the restaurant. Only if your child,
but rare.
Yeah, if your child's sleeping, they'll make an exception. They'll let you bring it in. But like if the child's not sleeping, there's just no room. These restaurants are
You're parking
packed. Yeah. So you have to leave your stroller right outside. So, I like to bring little bags that are on a I have like a Mickey Mouse carabiner, and the bags are attached to it. And so I have like a bag for diapers and wipes, and then a bag for like all the stuff, like the little table mats and all the OCD stuff. And then I have a little bag that goes on it, so that like if the kids, I just want to grab it and bring it into the restaurant with me, so I don't leave anything valuable in my stroller.
Yeah.
But people don't bother them when they're parked around there. That's one question I get all the time from clients.
I will say, the countless number of times I have traveled and I have left my wallet in my cup holder, because I have a City Mini, and I City Mini till the day I die. I've had single, I've had double, and I have the thing that hangs on the handlebar.
Yeah.
I left my wallet in there completely on accident, and no one has touched it. I'm not saying, oh my God, there's no crime in Disney. Of course, there's crime everywhere. There's people, but for the most part, cast member speaking here, we don't watch Strollers like a hawk, but we are constantly, usually there's a cast member stationed in Strollers. And public service announcement, be kind to those cast members moving your strollers. One, I have been that mom who is running to a ride and throws her stroller where she thinks stroller parking is, and it's really not. And so the cast member moves it. I have also been the cast member who has to move the stroller to the stroller parking. And they have designated stroller parking for a reason, right? We don't want a slew of strollers everywhere. They have them in a situated area on purpose. And I have witnessed one of the sweetest people I've ever worked with, ever known. He was I was working with international people, cast members with me. Like, it was an international program that came in for the summer. And this sweet man was from Hong Kong. And this, no offense, Lauren, this Northeastern man is cussing him out for moving his stroller. And I vowed, like, from that moment on, and I was young, before kids, everything. And I vowed myself to never be that person.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they move your stroller, be kind. They move their stroller for a purpose. They have a rule. They have a,
They do have to move it too, because like as people come off rides, then there's just all these open spots, and there's no place to get other people to get their strollers in. Like, they're doing their job. They're moving them. They're compacting. So don't be surprised when you come off a ride. You're like, where's my stroller? It was right here. Look, just look over to the left. It's probably just moved a little bit. They're constantly moving them just to keep them in line and organized. And it just makes your life easier at the end of the day. And also, like, another thing that I've noticed is no one's going to go into your stuff because they don't know whose stroller that is. They don't know where what ride you're coming off of, or like when you're going to be there. So people aren't going to go rummaging through somebody else's things. I mean, I'm sure it happens, but it's pretty safe. It's a pretty safe place. But I gotta say, my biggest takeaway with strollers is just keep your stuff in bags. And grab a carabiner, because it is so easy, especially when you're going through security. So like when you get on the monorail, you have to go through security. At some of the hotels, when you go through you get into the parks, you have to go through security. So to do that, like, you don't want all your stuff beeping. You're going to be in line for that. So just take all your bags, put them in a carabiner, and then you can swing the bag through the security first, and they know it's not like in the bottom of the stroller. And when you get onto whatever you have to go on to fold it up, which is the bus and the boat, you have to fold it up for. The Skyliner and the monorail, you don't. And when you have to fold up your stroller, it's just so easy if you just have your bag in your hand.
It's just like, it's almost like by the second day, you get this routine of
Mhm.
who's grabbing the kid, who's grabbing the bag, and who's folding the stroller.
Yeah,
And if you
yeah,
can get that, and that's one reason why I love my City Mini, is it's a one pole fold.
yeah.
So it is, even when I had to go back to the room with my son by himself, it was, I take him out, I set him down, I grab the bag, I sluff it over my shoulder, I fold one hand, I fold the stroller, and then it's, hand on the toddler, hand in the stroller, and you can get yourself on the bus.
Right.
Um,
Like, so and you can rent the city minis through
mhm.
Stroller
Yeah.
Bud
So I
or
will, let me jump into cost. So
okay.
cost for strollers. So you can rent in the park, the gigantic plastic strollers. You walk into the park through security, and then boom, stroller rental is usually in all parks just inside the entrance.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
Right, you can. And that's also, for those wondering, is where you also get the strollers and the scooter or ECVs. So a single stroller is $15 a day. And if you choose to prepay for your entire stay, so that every day that you go into the park, you have a stroller already reserved for you, then they knock off some money and it's $13 a day. But again, you have to prepay for your entire stay. If you are park hopping, you can purchase your $15 stroller, and then when you will return your stroller and then hop to the next park, and you will take that receipt to the next stroller rental and then grab another one. Doubles are $31 a day. If you choose to prepay for the entire length of your stay, that goes to $27 a day.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's cheaper if you rent third party. So
Mhm.
there are multiple third party rental sites. This is a few: Kingdom Strollers, Orlando Strollers, Magic Strollers, and I feel like I had another one. There's
Stroller Fly.
another, what'd you say?
Stroller Fly.
Stroller Fly, that's the other
I
one.
like them.
And what our agency prefers, Scooter Bug. I think you said you researched, Lauren, and you said it's Walt Disney World. What did you say? What was their qualifications?
It's their premier or their exclusive um
Preferred booking.
preferred. Yeah, I was searching it before to make sure that because I know that they updated the policies recently, and I wanted to make sure that you didn't have to be there to get it
Mhm.
delivered, which you don't.
For some they did, but yeah, they will deliver to your resort a sanitized stroller, and you have it for the entire length of your stay if you choose that. And
And
it's
you can pick
also,
any kind.
yeah, they have Bob, they have City Mini, and then they have a little bit cheaper, I think like a Britax or something.
Yeah.
And they have single, they have double. And this is also great for people who are bouncing between Disney and Universal, or maybe Disney and SeaWorld. It will deliver to your resort, whether or not
Yeah.
you're on property, off property. And you have that for your entire length of stay.
Yeah. That's a
It
great
is.
point.
And single strollers, the range, and this, all the rental sites are about the same, right? Competition, they're about the same. So
Yeah.
single strollers are about $11 to $20 per day, and double strollers are about $20 to $26 per day.
Yeah,
And
that's not
here's
bad.
something that's I thought was interesting. So for those that are traveling with disabilities, Scooterbug has a 200-pound adaptive, what did they say? Adaptive needs stroller. So it's like a wider stroller for those that have special needs and need a stroller for a larger person or a bigger kid. And that goes for $24 a day. And for
That's not
that
bad.
information, no, it's not. We'll put all this in our show notes and the description below so you guys can check it out. And yeah, so I'm trying to think of any other notes that I have. That again, they also have wheelchairs to rent for those that I had a teenager when I used to go with, fun fact, I was a middle school teacher. So we would take our seventh graders, and once we took eighth graders, ninth graders, and one of our kids was broken ankle. So we had to rent a stroller for our student, and not a stroller, sorry, a wheelchair, so that we could
Yeah.
push him.
So I wish that we're gonna have to have Dawn talk about this one day, because it's a good point to mention that they also have you can also rent the ECV
Mm-hmm.
strollers in any of the parks. So like as soon as you get to the park, you just go to guest services and you can rent one. So Dawn had broken her ankle last year, and so she was riding around dirty all over Disney in a scooter, and every time she would back up it would be like beep 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 beep. It was so embarrassing. She was so embarrassed. It was so funny. She'd just be like rolling around with her little drink in her hand and her popcorn bucket. She always has a popcorn bucket. She'd be rolling around the parks like that. It was so funny. But it was also really convenient because she couldn't cancel her trip because she'd already paid for it, but she couldn't walk. So
Right.
it was kind of nice. If you're traveling with an elderly person and maybe they, or or someone has a slight disability or anything, and they think they can do it, but by the end of the day they can't. Subject to availability, you can rent one of the ECVs at the
And
park.
you can also rent for Disney Cruise Line. I
Yeah.
know there's not as much walking. There's not as much walking on a Disney cruise, right? You go to
Yeah.
Walt Disney World, you're walking 7 to 15 miles a day, I feel.
Yeah.
You go to a Disney cruise, you have to walk around the ship. You have excursions you can walk around to. I have a client actually leaving next week, I would think, for her cruise, and they rented an ECV for their grandmother that's traveling with them.
Yeah, it's smart that you
Mhm.
do have to, before you rent one for the cruises, you do have to look into their size restrictions too, because Disney Cruise Line doesn't really encourage you to bring strollers on the ship.
Right.
They prefer you to bring ones that are easily foldable and compact, because you're really not supposed to be pushing them around the ship, and that's just for obvious reasons. Like, if you hit any kind of turmoil in the ocean, or like it could, and it's not locked, it could like knock somebody over. It could be really dangerous. So
Mhm.
most cruise lines don't suggest that you bring a stroller, but obviously they don't ban them, because you do need them from time to time, or
Mhm.
it is here for if you have a newborn or whatnot. And on that note, I wanted to say I brought all my kids as newborns to Disney, and I had the bassinet adapter, and it was so easy. Like, it was so nice. They slept
Mhm.
the whole entire trip. And if they didn't, they were up and we were just feeding them, or they were in a carrier.
I was gonna say I do bring my carrier.
Greg still brings the carrier. He'll put like we're going in 2 weeks, and I think he's gonna end up putting my 2-year-old in the carrier half the time
Because they
because
just
it's
want you to hold them half the time. So slapping them on your back is just freeze it up.
yeah. Kids don't want to be in strollers in Disney. They're like, well, they do once they're tired, but at first they just want to walk. So like we've brought
Mhm.
it and we've ended up parking it the entire day. It's just that we know it's there if we need
Yeah.
it.
Carry your
But the kids,
souvenirs.
yeah, basically all my
Oh,
cups.
that's the other thing that I did want to mention is stroller is a rain cover. If you if you have some stroller rentals will come with like a free rain cover,
Mhm.
and it is like a hot box. If
Yeah,
your kid is on there with the rain cover, it it's miserable.
yeah,
However, parking whenever I travel in a rainy season, aka June through November, it's or up until November, aka hurricane season, it's
yeah.
raining nearly every day. So throwing a rain cover, or if you don't have a rain cover, don't want to buy a rain cover, a cheap um
Poncho.
poncho, throw it over your stroller when you park it, secure it with
Yeah,
some like chip clips or something, and
yeah,
you don't
yeah.
have
Because
to soak your
the
stroller
last
when
thing
you
you
get
want
done.
to do. Yeah, the last thing you want to do is come out to a soaking, be on having fun on a ride, and come out with a cranky baby to a soaking wet stroller that they have to
Yeah,
sit in for the next 2 hours. Like, your day's
your day's over. I
over.
guess that's one perk of the Disney strollers with the plastic is they have drains at the bottom. So if it does rain, they drain pretty fast, and just a little wipe with a couple napkins and it's dry, versus
That's true.
cloth stroller that soaks it all in. All right.
That's
Any
true.
other
I
tips
would
and
say,
tricks?
like, if you're traveling with a 6-year-old, or yeah, I would say if you're traveling with a 6-year-old or over, renting the stroller in Disney maybe isn't the worst option. Like,
Right.
I just wouldn't do that for my little ones because I know that they would be cranky. But I have a friend that went pretty recently, and they have older kids. Like, they're way older, but they get tired. So I think
Mhm.
they're like 8 and 6 and 8 maybe. So
Mhm.
she ended up having to rent it like the second day just because the kids
Mhm.
didn't want to walk around anymore.
Yeah,
It was kind of perfect for them. Plus, they don't look silly in it because those things are so big that they
they
kind of look
are.
like they.
I am like the militant mother where your stroller days are ending at like 6. I will say with my single though, if I have to walk fast to catch a bus or to catch something or get back to the room or whatever, I will pull, and those are my City Mini friends, if you know, I will let down the back because a City Mini stroller can lay flat. Like you let down
Mhm.
the back and they lay flat. I will let that down and I have shoved like my baby, which she was maybe 1 at the time, 18 months old. I'll shove her kind of all the way back in. And then my son will sit where like the tray would be kind of at the very, very front. So,
Yeah.
so I can fit both of them in there and then I can book it to wherever I need to go.
Oh
Because
yeah,
sometimes you just gotta haul.
I've made Colton sit in our uppa in the thing that lays underneath it.
Oh,
Probably
I have seen kids in there. Yeah.
I know they're not probably not supposed to do that. It's probably like it could rip. It's probably dangerous. I know. Don't come for me. But like, I think that kids just think it's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Colton like loves it. He thinks it's like a ride. He's like, I'm gonna lay in here, and he'll like lay down in there and take a nap.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, whatever works. Again, you're not in the stroller all day. That's not why you're there. It's just to get yourself around.
Right. All right. Any tips and tricks regarding our strollers before we end this little mini-sode?
Other than just keeping a bag and being able to
Mhm.
easily pull everything out of the stroller, and looking for a stroller that's easy to close. You don't want one
Yes.
that has to take 1,000 pieces apart to get it folded up. Those two things. And I really think that's basically, oh, and like what you said about the ponchos, make sure you
Yeah.
have something to cover the strollers and be
Something to cover
nice to
your
the cast
stroller.
members. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my 2 takeaways. It's like come with your rain gear because it's
And be
gonna
nice.
rain. Or I have even seen someone with like an umbrella, like open an umbrella and just kind of sit it with like a bag on top to
Yeah.
allow just in case if you come back and it's raining.
Right.
Keep that in mind and then be kind to your stroller parking cast members. They're working
Yeah.
hard.
Yes.
All right, that is it, guys. Welcome to our first mini-sode. We're gonna hopefully have a couple of these and we can just sprinkle them in. And hopefully, what else? By the
Well,
end of
we
this
have a
week,
lot of.
yeah, by the
Well,
end of
by
this
the end
week,
of
we
this,
should have Animal Kingdom Lodge recorded, and that would be fantastic. We're excited about it.
yeah, we're excited about that one. We have a lot of hotel episodes coming up because that was kind of our first priority, was going through all the hotels and making episodes where you guys, if you're researching hotels, have an easy place to go to and see like the pros and cons other than the basic things that you read over and over again,
Mhm.
and just from people that have experience staying there. But we also have a lot of episodes we wanted to mix in between about different festivals. Like, we're both going to be in Disney over the next 2 weeks at some
Yep.
point, and if food and wine is coming up, so I'll be there opening day to review all the food. So we'll have a little special on like food and wine festival. There's a couple festivals Disney puts on, so we want to go over all those different special events that are coming up. Halloween, there's a lot of things going on, so we're gonna be like trickling in between all these hotel episodes, little mini-sodes, I guess you can call it, or sometimes they'll be a little bit longer on other
Mhm.
things going on in Disney. So you know, we can fill you in on everything.
Yes, we're excited. Guys, we love spilling the teacups, and we hope
We
you
do.
do too. Our social media, come follow us, Spilling Teacups on Instagram.
Yep. And
And
please tell your friends.
yes, absolutely. Share, give us a like, and
Yeah.
subscribe to the YouTube channel and our podcast on
The sooner
nearly
you guys
every platform.
the sooner you guys do that, the sooner we can edit this and you won't have to hear us cutting each other off all the time.
Right? All right, Lauren, I'll see you guys later.
All right, talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.